Yes, it is official. We are live. Let me fix my mic. I have a secret mic hidden up here that you can't see. I try to be a professional about it. All right, man. So this is one of those episodes. Here's what I love is what the coolest thing about my gig, traveling around the nation, what I was doing before the pandemic, was I just get to meet these amazing people, these like heroic educators doing their thing in classrooms across the nation. And I met Lacey Davis. We couldn't figure it out. We're too old. We've lost too many brain cells at this point in our lives. But we're thinking that it's somewhere maybe around 8 years ago in Oklahoma City. I just remember the name of the hotel. It was the Waterford Hotel, and to teaching a rock star event there. And here's the funny thing: is she was in the audience. I'm doing my thing, and this is back when I had the hair, the glorious locks, and it was a good crop that year, if I remember. And but here's what's interesting. Like when I meet people around the nation, and then we connect on Facebook or on social media, and if somebody would ask me, "Hey, do you know Lacey Davis?" I go, "Yeah, we're friends, man." But like we haven't seen each other since then. But the thing is, because I see her post and we connect, and I'm just convinced we're friends like forever. So Lacey J. Davis, she for 15 years, she's been doing that first grade teacher thing. And now she is not just doing first grade right there in her classroom, but also online. And so she has kids in person, kids at home, and connected. And I know it's hard. Like it is unlike anything any of us ever even imagined that we'd be doing. And the level of difficulty is so intense. But what I love about Lacy is like, look at her. She's so fired up for this thing, man. And, how would you not want to be in that classroom or class Zoom, whatever you have happening? And she's just passionate about teaching, whether it's in person or online. And I'm just so glad we get to hang out with her for a few minutes tonight here on the Help a Teacher Facebook Live, all the way from Oklahoma. Lacy, how are you?
Hey,
So good to see you. So we met. I'm going like I think you're right. I think we figured it out. Now that my brain is working a little bit, I think it's been 8 years. We're getting old.
yes,
All right, so you are doing first
older
grade,
but
and
better. We're like
that's
fine
true.
wine.
Yes, we are. I'm not haven't matured much, but we are definitely getting better. So tell me about this year and what's happening with your kiddos in your classroom and online. How's that going?
It's going great. It's not easy by any means, but I always say that the most rewarding things in life are often the most difficult ones. Um, our district, which I have to give props to my district. I love Seminole Public Schools in Seminole, Oklahoma. We we have Chieftain Pride there. They picked one teacher per grade in the elementary and said, "Hey, you're doing distance." Like, okay. So, and I just feel like that God had been preparing me for this. Um, so I just stepped.
You know what I love? I love that. Yeah, when we think about all that we've been through in the past, there are times like this when things are really hard. But if you look back and kind of see that, like, I think you're right. Like when things are really, really challenging, you start thinking about everything that's happened in the past, and it's almost as if that path has been preparation to what we have going on right now.
Mhm.
Yeah. And so for you and your
And I
kiddos,
have I have
go ahead.
oh I was gonna say I have really supportive parents and they're really involved. So that makes a big difference.
Yeah, anytime that is happening, and here's what I know for sure, just on my experience, is the older the kids get, the less the parents want to be involved, man. When they're like a teenager, you take them, they're yours. But when they still love them and they're cute and cuddly in first grade, they're all about involvement. And so, with your
Yeah,
parents that have chosen to keep their kids at home, do you feel like it's more of a safety issue for them? They're just trying to keep the kid healthy?
I do have some that have health issues, and I have one that lost an uncle to COVID at the beginning of all of it. And they just want to be safe. And I get that. As a parent, I totally get that.
Yeah, for sure. I think when this whole thing got going, I think we underestimated it. I know I did, when it was in March of, last semester. And, I didn't know anybody with COVID. Then I knew a couple of people. But
Yeah.
now, man, I know dozens that are currently sick, and I know dozens more that have been sick. And I think I'm wondering, for a first grade teacher at that age, does the topic come up much at all?
With my in class kids, it does because I have six that are in class. Because they'll be like, I think it's like cooties. So they'll be like, don't get too close to me. You're gonna give me your Rona cooties.
Hey, that's the stuff I love about teaching. Like, no other profession would you be talking about the Rona cooties other than teaching school. That's what I love about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so for you, I know some of the teachers talk a lot. They feel like they haven't been able to really connect with their kids online. And just talking to you, it seems like you've been able to somehow develop a relationship with those kids that you are having in distance education.
Yeah, we just jumped in with both feet from day one, and we started our lives. There's one of my parents is on there. Said Jay says hi. Um, we started with day one with our lives.
Yeah, that's the man. Like, here's the thing. I think that once kids get the idea that it's just like you're there for them, and even once we understand as adults that, mean, like, really looking into that little hole on the screen is really just like looking into that kid's eyeball, and and connecting that way is powerful. And so you have mamas joining us tonight that have kids in your class.
Yeah, yeah, I do.
That's awesome. Hey, so for you, I'm wondering, as we getting closer to the holidays, is this something that, now, I guess just like everybody, I mean, I think we're all ready for a break.
I think I always say I'm addicted to teaching. Like I have problems, but I like to research. I'm a huge nerd. That's my principal.
Hey,
Mrs. Cheatwood.
Cheatwood.
Um, I always want to do more than what I'm doing. So I probably put way more time than I should, but then I just it's my passion. So
Yeah. I think the thing I have seen during this time, and I know there in Seminole, it's absolutely true as well with other teachers I know there, is that I mean, we have just seen such heroic efforts by educators and administrators. I mean, this is the most challenging school year we've ever had. And to see those teachers step up and answer the call and accept the challenge and just meet that challenge with creativity and resourcefulness and just unrelenting determination to do the right thing for kids. I mean, it's been amazing to see that across the nation. And I'm wondering for you, what, you know, I'm sure in your school too, you have seen other teachers I mean, just working crazy hours, doing things, doing whatever it takes to connect with kids. Is there a story or anything like that that comes to mind?
There's so many. Like, I may be partial, but Seminole has the top of the top, all the way from our pre-K and kindergarten building, all the way. Like I told you earlier, I have a great nephew that's in pre-K this year, so all the way from pre-K up through, but all the elementaries and I middle school, and I have a high schooler. So many teachers that we have at Seminole, not just the teachers, the admin. I mean, I drive 30 minutes because I believe in Seminole.
Yeah. I think that's the key is once you find that place, and there's like those magical little school districts around the nation, and that's like the coolest thing about my gig is I find these unbelievable places where that kind of heroic effort is happening, and I mean, just life changing teachers are in these classrooms, and so that's the funny thing, like that's the secret about my work is I'll be visiting a school, and I'll do my teaching a rockstar thing, or might be the one thing like whatever the PD presentation is, and then I'm walking down the hallway and I'm looking in doorways and I'm seeing this amazing instruction. I'm like, what do you have me here for? Why don't you get that lady to go talk to your teacher? She's awesome. You're already.
I'm telling you,
they're everywhere.
Yeah, my daughter, she has had so many amazing teachers. She's went to Seminole from pre-K, and now she's a freshman, and she has had so many amazing, just like life changer teachers.
Yeah. I think like here's my theory about the towns like that is if you teach in the suburbs of a major city, I mean, and let me say there's great schools there, of course, as well. But the thing is, like, if you teach in a district that has 10 high schools and 25 junior highs and 50 elementaries, these kids that are matriculating through the grades and school to school, you never really know where they're going to go, and after high school, where they're going to end up. But in a town like that, we know exactly who these kids are. We know where they're going next. We know who their teacher was last year. We know who their teachers are at the next school they're going to have next year. And a lot of these kids, when they graduate, come back.
Yeah. There's a lot of the educators that were former chieftains. And then there's a lot of us that don't live in district because it's such a good school that we drive.
Yeah. Man, I love what people are saying with Miss Miranda talking about Miss Davis helped me more than just my first grader. She stepped up and even helped me with my reading intervention second graders. That's the thing, also in those towns like Seminole is when you're a teacher, it's not like you're on an island stuck in your alone by on your own in your classroom. Like it really is when we have schools like that come together and there's a real school family in place for kids. Man, it's just so powerful.
Yeah, it is. And it just all boils down to relationships. I really like responsive classroom, like love morning meeting. And that's one thing that when we started our lives, man, day one, we started our morning meeting and we do great expectations, rise and shine. So we started it from day. It really did help us build relationships, even virtually.
It's so true. That's what I always say. And I keep telling this story, but it's so powerful is one of my friends asked me to join her class in the mornings, first period. And I said, yeah, I'd love to join your class. And she want me to, talk to her kids. I said, that'll be fun. And we're about to go live and all the kids are coming in. I asked her real quick. I said, hey, what do you guys typically do during this time? And she goes, oh, don't worry. At the beginning of the class, we just have breakfast. So I'm looking at the screen and like there's this grid of kids and they're all just eating breakfast together. at their homes because the whole thing is virtual. And I thought, well, no wonder all of our kids show up when so many other teachers can't get their kids to join, because this really is like a family. They're having breakfast before class. And it's those moments like that where you're right. Like if we're going to build these relationships, if our classroom really is going to become a classroom family, that has to be the foundation of it all. And let me ask you, for you as a teacher, when you first
Hmm.
came into your career as 15 years ago, was that something that was natural for you as far as building relationships with kids?
I mean, I have a real, on my heart from, because I was a child of childhood trauma. So I've always felt that that was a very important thing. But as I got more into, because I'm a nerd, as I got more into research and found out about responsive classroom, and we went to Great Expectations, I just have always believed how important it is.
Yeah. I think some people come into the profession as like part of their DNA, kind of who they are. But I mean, for people like me, like I struggled when I had to really learn that. I thought I was going to just stuff a bunch of knowledge into a kid's noggin and they were going to learn it. I didn't know like we had to build a relationship first. But once I figured that out, I was good to go. But I
Yeah,
think you're right. For me, and it sounds like you've seen the same thing. Like there's a direct correlation between the level and the quality of relationship that I can build with my kids with the quality of instruction that I can deliver. Like they rise and fall together. The more the relationship, the better relationship,
yeah.
the better the instruction. And for you, like when you have kids coming into your classroom for the first time at the beginning of the year, is that pretty much the main focus for you?
Oh, definitely. We focus on building relationships from the get-go. Because if once you build those relationships and they know that you have high expectations for them, I mean, the sky's the limit.
Yeah, I think for me, the challenge I had was I was trying to set the set really high expectations first before building a relationship, and that was just a disaster.
Mhm. And I think kids, um, not just little kids, but big kids too, need to know that you care about them. And then they're more apt to, oh, you know, Miss Davis cares about me. Like, I don't want to disappoint her. She has high expectations for us. I know I can do great things. And I speak that over my kids. I do a message from Miss Davis every day and tell them that they're going to accomplish great things in life.
I think one of the secrets, and I never say it like when I'm working at the high school, but when I'm at the high school and I'm working with teachers and coaching teachers individually, I never say the words, but in my mind, I'm thinking, what we really need to do in your classroom is get it to run more like an elementary classroom rather than the way you're running it now, because these are children. And I think sometimes we forget, just because a kid has stubble and a neck tattoo and they have really adult language and adult experiences, it's still a child. It's not an adult. That like the 17-year-old brain, if you look at it,
Yeah,
looks a whole lot like a 7-year-old's, not a 27-year-old's.
yeah.
Hey, also, I was wondering for you,
But I'm a
as
first
we're
grader for life. Like,
right,
um,
right. I think, yeah, absolutely. Like, thank goodness. Like, I think, once you find your thing, like, you got to stick with it, right?
yeah. Well, like I have quite a few family members that are teachers, and um, two of them are math teachers, and I'm just like, I don't know how you teach middle school kids all day, and they're like, I don't know how you do first grade all day. I think you just have to find your fit.
Yeah. I think we lose teachers who frankly didn't find the right place. And the teacher turnover is crazy. It's like 50% in 5 years. In the first 5 years of a teacher, we have 50% of teachers that leave the profession. I think for some of them, they were just in the wrong grade. Like they really are middle school teachers and are at the high school, or they're elementary teachers and they accidentally were teaching sixth grade when they need to be teaching second grade.
Yeah.
But you,
Which I was just really blessed
yeah.
in that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've always been first grade. I actually originally got hired for a third grade class size reduction, and my principal then called me and was like a day before school started, "Hey, we're moving you to first grade." So,
And so here you are living the dream. That's awesome. Hey, listen, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight.
yeah,
I so appreciate you, and I love that your principals join us and some moms and your fellow teachers. Thank you so much for all you do for your kids. I love following you online. I love that we met, and I just have such a deep appreciation because those kids that are starting their career at in Seminole are they have you, and it's like they're setting them up for success for the next 11, 12 years that they're going to be in schools there. It's so awesome. Thank you so much, Lacey. I appreciate you.
thank you.
Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Thank you.